My M2 looks amazing, but at the moment, it's not driving the way that it looks. And in today's video, we're gonna get this car ready for track. It's insane. It's actually insane. Do you even know what you're doing on this today?
No.
So much traction. Oh my God, it's like a missile, mate.
This is mental, I can't lie.
The first thing we're going to be tackling is the brakes. That's why we're down at EBC today for a new set of pads and a new set of rotors. The thing is, on the road, this car is okay, but the minute you show it some corners on a track, these brakes overheat immediately, so we're going to start there. We're also going to be heading over to Swift Performance for some handling upgrades.
And as you can see, the rear brakes are absolute saucepan, so we're going to be changing that out today.
You may remember in a previous video, we added carbon fenders to the car. I've now had them painted and faded in, and they look... Along with the fenders, I've also added this optional dent here on the side, which was nice, thanks to some gale force winds. I'm going to add this in because we don't usually talk about it, but the G87 kit on this M2 looks absolutely amazing, and you can get 5% off with the code YouTube5. Also, massive thank you to our sponsor, Wagamamas, for sponsoring this. You can get 5% off your meal with Wagamamas5, AutoID, hashtag new meals, hashtag meals on wheels.
So I'm currently inside the EBC working facility. All of the brake components are made within this factory. I'm going to try and simplify the process as quick as possible to run you through what actually happens here. So essentially, this is an aluminium block. That then goes into this machine, and there's a 3-stage process to make the actual bracket which the calipers actually bolt to. Here are the 2 sides of the calipers, and then inside this machine, this then gets the calipers to the correct size and the correct tolerances, etc. And then if we come over here, this is another aluminium block, and this is essentially for the hub of the brake disc. So inside this machine at the moment is a hub which is being produced. This is actually for a G80 M3. And then that then goes through to this machine, which punches the holes and stuff within the hub. And then lastly, this machine machines it to almost its last stages, as you can see here. And then once that's complete, they then go for an anodizing process, which gives it like a black finish, along with like the laser cutting for the EBC brakes and stuff like that. I've probably missed absolutely loads out, but essentially everything is done and made in the UK with these guys. And they're all made by this gentleman just there.
Do you even know what you're doing on this today?
No. I have absolutely no idea. No, like not a clue.
Yeah, okay.
Like you pull out the camera and I was just going to roll with what you did, but I have no idea what we're doing.
Right, okay. So Liam has joined us today. Hello again, Liam. Welcome back to the channel.
Thanks for having me.
He's super is here because, I mean, you don't actually know why you're here, do you? But we're getting a big brake kit on this as well because the car is actually built really nice already, isn't it? Power's pretty good, but the brakes are the one area you've said.
Have you looked at the rear brakes? Have you seen the calipers? They're tiny. Yeah, it desperately needs brakes.
Oh yeah.
They're like little baby ones. They're not.
They're like my S1 ones.
Yeah,
they are actually
literally.
exactly the same.
They actually are, dude.
So we're putting a big brake kit on this as well, thanks to the guys at EBC. So
I'm so excited.
Just say we're having an EBC brake party.
We're having an EBC brake party.
And as Jack was getting his M2 done, I thought it'd be rude not to bring my Audi S1 Daily down as well, because the brakes on this car are useless. So we're going to be putting a big brake kit on that as well today. But I'm probably not going to talk too much about this because this is Jack's G87 M2 video, but the S1 is important and we do have to talk about the S1. Behind me is the assembly area for EBC, and they've essentially got a flow line behind me where all of the parts for the pistons and the calipers get built. So I'm going to show you that now. So over here is where they start, inlet threads, piston insertion, ancillary and hardware off assy line, don't know what that means, pressure testing station. Then they actually get tested, and then over on this bench they then get double checked before going out.
So these are some free range pistons that fit into the calipers, and I'm told that these are organic as well. So
the pistons essentially get delivered in that.
Yeah. Right, so we've got one of the sides of the discs on and the pads. I'm going to introduce Owen from EBC because he's going to talk a bit more about what we've got on the car and like the benefits of changing it essentially, if that's all right.
Yeah,
so,
that's fine.
You could.
So here we have the 2-piece floating disc, which is our OEM replacement. We also have our blue stuff pads in here, which is obviously the same as OEM, but it's just our version. And then we've got the EBC braided lines as well. So everything's upgraded here.
And so in terms of the disc, obviously they look visually different, which for us as a vehicle styling shop is great because it's a nice upgrade. But from a performance perspective, we spoke a little bit about like heat dissipation and stuff. These are going to be a lot better, is that right?
Yeah, this is true. So this is a total different material to what they use for OEM brakes. And then because we have the slight gaps here, and obviously the heat ventilation and they're directional, it means that you can distribute the heat much quicker.
And just on the pads as well, so this is, you said blue stuff. We was also looking at some race pads. Are these the race version or the track version?
These are what are road legal, so you will never get told off for using these on road. But obviously they are our track to road use pads. But we have also got, obviously for when you go racing, the track pads.
Yeah, cool. All right, and in terms of swapping over, they're quite a simple.
Yeah, very simple fit.
Fine, all right. So essentially these discs, and obviously the main thing that you see there is the disc, and the main thing that's going to give is obviously the visual difference. You're not going to get that rusting that really tends to happen around the hubs here. If you look at mine already, you can sort of see this sort of rusting all around here, all this sort of gunk. I mean, this car's only done 4,000 miles, so to see that already is a little bit concerning. And the good thing about this is the way that they're being anodised, once they're worn down, they're still going to stay looking nice and fresh. So this is a hub for the new two-piece brakes that are going to be going on to, two-piece brake discs that are going onto your car. And we've got a little special customization that's actually going on at the minute. What is this number then?
It's my race number. So one thing that's quite unique about the Supra is with the wheels that we did, we got my number engraved on the wheels.
Yep.
And so EBC have kindly done the same for the brake hubs.
Hubs, and then the bobbins go here, and then the disc goes around the outside.
It's gonna look mad.
Bobbins? They're called bobbins, right?
Yeah.
That's a weird name, isn't it? Where did they come up with that? And then, just a little insight into you. Where did 30 come from?
30 was one of my original numbers when I was a kid. So
let's have a look. So wait, yeah. So 30 was when you.
30 was when I was a kid. It was like one of my original go-kart numbers that I carried through all the way.
Right, okay,
so whenever I have the option of running a number, I run 30. I couldn't run 30 in F1 because I was a reserve, stepping in as a reserve, so I had to run the team reserve number. But if I ever got to race full-time, I would run 30.
Does anyone use that?
No, and I've been making sure that nobody has it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Once you have it, if you stop racing for 2 more years, you can still claim that number. Nobody can use it, but nobody's used it for years. So right now, I'm still good.
You're just handing out bribes here and there so no one uses it.
So nobody touches this number.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's gonna look so good. In school, we would hang out every day and make tracks around school, and literally it's just me and him would run around and pretend to be like race cars.
Wait, like in the school playground and stuff?
Yeah, literally.
What, would you hold like dinner plates or?
I don't think we ever, when I was home, I had steering wheels that I'd use in my house because I had loads of different tracks. So I'd use like a DVD or a PlayStation game case.
Yeah.
That's like a Formula wheel. No, that was like a touring car wheel.
Yeah.
And then I used to use like a PlayStation controller upside down. Looks like Vettel's Formula 1 steering wheel.
Yeah,
so I was like, oh, Red Bull car, that was my steering wheel. I had a Wii. I never even had a Wii, but I had a Wii steering wheel.
Well, you bought it for that?
My sister bought it for my birthday. And I used to just run around with a Wii steering wheel and just make tracks and have different, at school we'd be like, one day we'd be Formula 1 cars, one day we'd be racing V8 supercars.
Was that predetermined, or you just said on the day I'm gonna be?
No, we'd be like, what are we doing today? Let's do.
Right.
Oh man.
I have a question. You know when you see Formula 1, I've seen it. I'm sure I've seen this on Drive to Survive as well, where they're like closing their eyes and they're like visualizing. Is that a thing?
Yeah, of course it's a thing.
So you'll sit and visualize it before?
Sometimes.
So you could drive like Silverstone with your eyes closed?
Not in real life, no. I couldn't actually. I'd go off. But sometimes we visualize. You can time a lap.
Yeah.
If I've been driving it that day, for example, that night I could probably do a lap pretty close to like a real
That's
life lap time.
crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah, because
Try it on the way to work.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I could do that.
you're gonna have to do quite a few runs to get it. Like, I couldn't do it now, for example.
Yeah.
You'd need to probably do a day of driving before you could get
And
accurate.
then you could literally, eyes closed, like just visualizing the whole circuit, all the gears and.
Yeah, you can, because it's all, you're basically like when you're driving, you're realistically each lap you're doing pretty much the same thing. You're going down the same amount of gears.
Yeah.
You're braking within the same 3 meters.
The only difference being other drivers and their variances in like fuel
Or if
load
you're in
and
a race.
tyre and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But even when you change fuel loads, the only thing that happens is if you're in a quali, occasionally you'll be maybe a gear higher in 1 or 2 corners, but otherwise it's all the same.
Yeah.
You're just going 5 kph faster here, 5 kph faster through all like most of the corners.
It's mad. Racing become like, well, particularly qualifying is like systemised in a way then, because you just know exactly what you're going to be doing.
When you go from, you have to know exactly, when you go from practice to quali, quali's the first time you've driven in low fuel, soft tyres, like in high engine mode. Basically, you have to know where all the grip is before you've even done the lap. So you just kind of like, it's a bit weird, you just kind of send it and trust.
Yeah, no. And hope
The
that
more
what
you
you
do
think
it,
is going to happen is it happens.
The more you do it, the better you get. Like if you're max, you've done it so many times that you know, it's almost like how much, like a percent, how many more percent do you push than?
Yeah. Then
say in
then
practice
the
you're at
delta
95, you're 5% more in quali.
That's
So
crazy.
you just know each track you go to. When
you
I
know
first
that
did
your
it, I didn't
braking
know.
zone isn't 100 metres, it's 90 or whatever it might be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Mad. That's how I get to work. Right, so we've taken the M2 out for a drive now. All of the work is done and I'm very happy with how they look. We've done the discs, we've done the pads, we've done fluid and we've done brake lines as well. So this is their 2-piece floating disc. They're in the black, so you can see we've already put a little bit of mileage on and that top layer of black paint is gone and it's sort of left the black paint on the rest of the disc, which is going to just protect it from rust, which is a big thing for me, to be honest. I'm very particular with stuff like that. And then on the front, we've also got the EBC blue stuff pads, which we're going to be running on the road. I have also got a set of track pads that I'm going to be putting on at a later date. Most likely.
X's they've given you.
They're called the RPXs. They're going to be going on just for our track day. We've also got EBC racing fluid, that's 4-dot racing fluid, and then they're also the EBC braided lines. So we've got a full EBC setup on the car, and I'm very interested to see what this feels like. Number one, when I've had a bit of time with the car on the road, but then number two, when we actually push it and do a couple of laps and really put some temperature through the brakes. So super happy with how this looks at the moment.
By the time we go to Swift Performance next week,
Yep.
they would have been bedded in, so we'll be able to
Probably.
give like a little bit of a drive in on way to Swift Performance.
Yeah, 100%, definitely. And then obviously you see in the background, Mr. Liam Lawson's Supra's getting worked on now, so let's go and have a little look at that.
No, we can't say that
Why not?
because they're not legal, right?
Yeah, they're illegal. They're illegal, yeah. He's breaking the law.
Are we going to say it or not?
He's breaking the law.
No, but as in, are we going to say?
No, we'll just say got track pads.
You just mention and say that you've got the legal. Just say like my brake pads are legal.
Yeah, but I can't say that RP11s.
Just say this brake kit is amazing and legal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Right, so the big brake kit is now on. Looks a lot better, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it looks way better.
This is the stock kit.
terrible.
They're really ugly calipers
That's
as well,
terrible.
actually. And these have gone from a 2-pot,
4-pot.
4-pot, sorry. 2-pot. It's gone from a
Front disc, yeah.
Yeah, it's gone from
Front caliper.
2-pot front disc. Sorry, 4-pot front disc to 6-pot.
Yeah.
Bigger diameter. Yeah, Liam,
These
tell us
are-
what you...
Completely legal.
Completely legal
Yes.
discs and pads.
Completely legal disc and pads.
The
Just
pads are
wanted to
particularly
confirm that.
legal, yeah.
The pads are particularly legal, yeah.
Fit for race use. Obviously, you're going to be putting them to a test.
And road. It doesn't say it, but it is. It is full.
And then obviously you've got your 30
Custom
number as well.
on the, what are they called?
They are the hubs.
Hubs, yeah.
We literally look like we're clueless.
I literally thought,
They thought they were
picking them up, and I was like, oh, they got drum brakes here as well. they look like drum brakes.
They do look like drum brakes.
Well, now they don't, but when they were just a
to be
single
honest,
piece,
that is the same size as a drum brake
It
for
would
like a
be.
Fiesta or something.
I used to race a car that had drum brakes, so
Oh, fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Got to bring it back to racing.
I was just
of course,
relating to my early days.
Yeah, of course. Right. In all seriousness, this obviously kit is going to be a big upgrade for you, isn't it? Because these are
Honestly, these are shocking. One of the biggest drawbacks about the car so far is doing everything that we've done and then driving around with a really spongy feeling brake pedal. So yeah, this is going to be a lot better.
So this with the fluid, the pads, and the actual floating discs, obviously, is just going to completely transform that.
And braided lines.
And braided lines.
And braided lines.
And braided lines, you see them
yeah.
in there, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So
I really want to pull that plastic off. Like just do it in my head.
you can do that.
Can I do it now?
Sure, yeah,
Can I
sure,
do it?
oh, yeah. Let's go.
Do you want to get
You going from the top? Yeah.
That was so
was
nice,
really
dude.
nice.
I really enjoyed that.
You need like an
Is that
MK. Have you seen MKBHD? You know, where like zooms in when he pulls stuff. It's just me. Don't worry. But that's going to end this section of the video now because you're going to join us in a second. We're going to be Swift Performance back with the M2, working on the other bits on the car.
Let's get on she want that info. I wanna talk about crypto. Tryna lead that boy bloody. That Brian when he threw that elbow. Street sticky cup muddy. Mother looking like Rodeo. 20 chickens in the kitchen. They all bad. It was their man Rogano. He missing sitting on a mission. My fingers itchy cause of vengeance. Ain't put them dirty in a minute. Drink. Don't worry about it. How you business.
Right, you join us a week later now. We are down at Swift Performance. We're done at EBC. We're going to talk a little bit about the brakes later on in the video because they are amazing. But with that being said, I'd like to introduce Russ to the channel, my man. Is this your first time you've been on our? It might be.
Maybe.
Russ is the man at Swift Performance. He's going to be doing all of the mods on the car today, and this is mainly chassis related. So, yeah, rather than me go for it, do you want to explain a little bit about what we're doing and the changes we're going to make, and ideally the impact they're going to make?
Yep, so we've got firstly camber plates, so stock cambers, think about 2 degrees on these, so that gives you scope, I would imagine up to somewhere near 3.5.
Right.
Front control arm mounts, take away that compliance from the rubber bushes, so they're a must really when you're pedaling.
That's just going to add a bit more steering feel basically.
Yeah, and also under brakes, you lose the deflection in the bush.
Yeah.
So yeah, just tightens things up a lot.
So we're going to get a bit more camber, so we're going to have more traction on
Yeah.
track, round corners. Also, we're going to get a bit more feel, and also when the car's squatting under braking, it's just going to be more predictable, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's not the wheels aren't deflecting. Yeah.
Nice.
It's actually quite drastic on a F87. So
Really?
I've not tracked one of these yet, but yeah, it makes quite a
It is.
difference.
I mean, under brakes, these do feel okay, but I think it's going to be more noticeable when we change it and see the difference.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
And then the other change was on the rear as well.
Yeah.
So
Some toe links, because basically when you reach the limits of the camber adjustment, you can run out of toe. So longer toe arms or more adjustable toe arms.
Yeah.
And also you taking out the rubber element that's at one end as well.
Fine.
So
again, just
anything getting rid of rubber obviously is good.
And one of the key things that we haven't spoke about is also we're going to be doing an alignment on the car today because this is running just under 600 horsepower, and to be honest, it's a bit squirmish under power, so that definitely needs a look at. I think the alignment might be quite a bit out, so we'll see that anyway. So the guys are now going to crack on with the car and get these mods on. all the parts are now on the car and it is ready to finally be aligned. This is going to be where it all comes together basically. So we've got the camber plates on. You can't actually see them, which is a shame because they sit under the sort of strut housing.
Yeah, they're covered by a bit of
so they're sort
cowling.
of covered up. But you can see actually if you follow us around. Our,
Oh, plug the hoodie.
oh, the hoodie. Here you go. This is
Give
the
us a
new
spin.
Autoid limited edition hoodie, G87 as well, as we're working on it.
It's not out yet though, is it?
No, this is a limited edition special boss version tester.
Limited drops, very extremely limited drops.
This
Might
is
be on
very
the website.
limited. So these are only limited to 50 this time around because we're not too sure how demand will be. So definitely get in there if you want one.
And the quality is actually really good on it. We
It's really good.
we don't make crap stuff, do we, Jack?
We don't, mate. This is us.
Yeah.
Don't laugh, Ross.
Right, these two are now, yeah.
Yeah. Right, so the car is now all set up and Ross was talking a little bit about the setup process. I'm not going to go into too many details as I don't want to send you to sleep, but essentially we've got just over 3 degrees of camber on the front and just over 2 on the rear, and then we've towed in on the rear and towed out on the front, and the whole point of towing out is because it gives you a much better turn in. And then
Why'd you tow in on the rear?
better traction.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. Well, because that's been one of the actual problems with this car, just getting the power down has been a real issue. Also, I don't claim to be an expert in terms of alignment processes, so do call me out if you want. But yeah, and then the tow out is going to make this car just feel a lot nicer going into the corners, especially when combined with the camber. And also the new bushings that we've put on the control arm. So that's going to hopefully give us a load more steering feel. And I'm going to now take the car out for a drive and give you my impressions. Thank you, my man.
No problem.
Much appreciated.
Thanks for coming to us.
No, of course.
See you on the track day.
Thank you,
there.
Josh.
Let me know any.
So Luke,
Nice one, boys. See you later.
see you now, guys. Not really done any miles in the car since the brakes, and obviously now since the alignment's been done, I'm literally just pulling out a Swift now. So, yeah, give you my thoughts. One other notable thing, we are going to be taking the car pretty much straight on track now. So we've just put the RPX pads on from EBC. And they're going to give it a much sharper bite, but yeah, I mean almost immediately it comes straight into the brakes a lot quicker
Squeaky.
and a lot squeaky. Right, so we'll get out of the way of all of this stuff, and when we get on a few tasty roads we'll catch back up. Right, you join us about an hour later. Traffic was diabolical, but we are now back in some very nice roads. So kind of give you my thoughts and impressions on the car so far. First thing I've noticed just driving it on the motorway as well is that there's a lot more road noise, which I wasn't expecting, but I'm guessing that's where we've just replaced those bushings, and you can just feel it. Like my phone and my chewing gum, sounds a bit silly, were like vibrating a little bit more than what they were before. And that kind of confirms the feeling that I'm getting through the steering wheel, because the car just feels a lot more like alive straight away in every single sense as well. The brakes, unreal. Honestly, they bite so much quicker as well. Oh, easy talk. I needed them then as well. The bloke in front just went straight out this guy's arse. He's just pretty sure he just brake checked me. Right, here we go. Wow.
Oh, that is really
Oh my
impressive.
God.
I thought it was going to wash out just then.
So much traction. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, it's like a missile,
this
mate.
is mental, I can't lie. Sorry for talking, this is actually mad.
Whoa. I can't explain. Before, you'd put your foot down and the car would be all over the place. That is just hooked up and gone.
Yeah,
That's impressive,
I
isn't
thought
it?
when you come over that bump, so like we just unsettled the car at the speed limit,
Yeah.
and over a bump, flat
It's
out
just
almost.
hooked straight up. Yeah. Wow. Russ, mate. You boys.
Yeah, no,
it's
they've done a
hooked
good
up.
job with that.
Yeah, Fabian, mate, honestly, that hooks up amazing. I'm in MDM at the moment, so I'm not traction all the way off, but normally you'll see it flashing saying MDM, the traction's hardly kicked in.
And you can feel it cutting the power. It hasn't cut the power at all.
No, not at all.
You'd probably be all right with traction off, Jack.
Yeah, I've got bottle. Don't worry about that. Sends it into a bush. Let's just say, look, I'm in traction off, second gear.
Do it in a straight. Jack's got bottle.
But that was predictable. I knew exactly, I could feel it going. That wasn't like a whip.
Nah.
And that was because it was off camber as well, so it sort of started to follow the road. Luckily, we're following an ambulance, so if anything happens, we're all right. Oh, mate, this is unreal. And the brakes as well. You can hear it. You can really hear the brakes now as well, can't you, with the new pads? Now they're up to temp, they ain't squeaking. No. It's only because when they're cold. But the steering is unreal. Like, genuinely, mate, it's night and day difference. And you can feel how much more traction. That there's almost, you've basically eliminated understeer now, and the exhaust. What I think has happened now is that this car has come together as a package. We've done the exhaust, we've done the geometry, we've done the brakes, we've done the power, and now it honestly just feels like a completely and utterly different car. Like it feels genuinely amazing. Like jumping out of my F8, I have to be honest. Owning the F87 and then getting into this car, initially, this was a letdown. And there's a lot of people that have said the same thing, and you would obviously argue that, well, it's a bit silly, you've got to do all these bits to make the car as good as what the F87 was. But in truth, the F87s have mods anyway, so it's not a fair comparison. But this, which is a modern car with all the mod cons, in terms of driver involvement and driver feel, is beyond what the F87 is. I'll happily say that. Like the actual way the steering wheel's communicating, the way it'll put the power down, the exhaust sound as well sounds brilliant. The ride quality as well. Like I'm driving this on country roads. We're in sports, and normally you'd be like juddering all over the place, but the MSS just keeps it really compliant. Right, I don't want to spoil the fun too much. We're going to get a lot more driver's impressions on what this car drives at when we do our track day, because we're definitely going to be filming that and capturing what it drives like there. But for now, I am massively impressed with this car now. It's really come together. Super happy with it. So big shout out firstly to EBC for sorting out the brakes. Those guys have hooked us up massively and again transformed the brakes there, but it's all sort of come together by the guys at Swift. They've done an amazing job with the camber plates, with the arms at the back,
and solid bushings.
The solid bushings as well, and then the alignment. They've done a really good job. Cannot recommend those guys enough. But yeah, thanks guys. We'll see you in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you have any comments, chuck them down below, and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already.
And make sure you buy one of these jumpers.
And our new hoodies, yes. Yeah. Boys, I can't lie, I've been driving the M2 now on natural roads, I know, and it is night and day difference. It is genuinely 10 out of 10. Like, every single one of you need to drive this car because it feels insane. It's a bizarre feeling. As you go around corners, you get more grip. Like, where it's got the additional camber at the front, like, you've got so much front end traction on this car. It's insane. It's actually insane. And then when you come out of a corner now, you can put your foot to the floor and it just it goes.